What's up, boys? It's me, Cabbage. It's so awkward. Blazing Aura, the set 2 of the Dragon Ball Super Card Game Future World, is set to release May 10th, 2024. I thought it'd be fun to go over the new cards that are spoiled in the new set and let you know what my introductory thoughts are over what's gonna be good, it's gonna be bad, and my first impressions of the new set. I'm a God ranked Future World player, if that gives me any credibility. You know, we stomped bronzes due to a poor matchmaking system when the game first came out, so you know that gives me authority to speak on this. Don't question it. All right, so we're just gonna go through the entire set. We're gonna blast through this because there's a few good ones in here, but I don't think it's gonna take me all that long because I have a pretty decent idea. So what I think is gonna be one of the strongest leaders in the next set is this TOP Goku. Everyone's been talking about it. I want to talk about the upsides and downsides of running this leader. So we'll start with the basics. When attacking, draw a card. When your life is 3 or less, draw a card. Then flip this card over, and then it turns into the Super Saiyan God Goku, and it has the special effect: pay 1, discard a card, play a battle card with 20k power or less, and tournament power and its special traits from your hand. So that is pretty crazy because some notable 20k cards you can play for free are this Kefla, which allows you to play a battle card with a cost of 3 or less and tournament power and the special traits from your hand. So for 1 mana, you get a 20k body that draws you a card, and it can be 25k body for Awaken, which it will be if you're using a leader. And you get to free play a 3 or less tournament of power card with special traits from your hand. There are a lot of 3-cost tournament power cards that are very powerful to free play, like this Android 17 that buffs your leader and also can't be KO'd by your opponent's skills. This thing's gonna be very sticky, and it gives you a bean. It's like a permanent Senzu bean on your leader, and if you're unaware, that means your leader gets a plus 5k all turn. It comes from a card in the original Dragon Ball game. It's pretty insane to be able to free play this. You get 2 25k bodies, and then it buffs your leader both offensively and defensively. That's pretty strong, and it mitigates one of the downsides of the leader, which I was going to talk about, which is awakening at 3 or less life. That is a significant downside if you're not leveraging the upside of its ability, like the turn you play it, because you have to wait a little bit longer for your full power. So that is a pretty significant downside, having to wait a little bit longer. It means you're more vulnerable to like double strike attacks when you're at 4 life, and that is gonna hurt. But you have a lot of tools in red to take life, so you'll be getting to 3 pretty easily. Notably, like the one mana Master Roshi, you can activate it an extra time and get value off playing a cheaper battle card. Also, a lot of these, there's a couple of these red cards that take life. Like this Son Gohan Adolescence. This takes a life, and it gives something minus 15k, and it's also a tournament of power that you can free play with Kefla and the TOP leader. So red's looking pretty strong. 1 mana for an effect like this is kind of insane. You're gonna be able to play pretty strong aggressive curves, and if you get awakened as soon as like turn 2, which you can if someone attacks you, because turn 1 you play Roshi, take a life, say they attack you down to 6, and then next turn you take another life for Roshi down to 5. You can play like a hit down to 4. I guess you can't do it turn 2. I think you only do it turn 2 if you're on the draw. Maybe not even then, actually. Definitely turn 3. You definitely get it as early as turn 3, and that's gonna be pretty strong. There is a few other notable mentions with the leader, like being able to get like free play at 20k dual attackers, like pretty decent, especially because it's a 10k. I don't think this card's going to be one that you want to cheat into play, though. It's pretty. It pales in comparison to some of the stuff that you can free play. This card is pretty mid. I mean, it gives something a minus 5k, then you attack, it gives something another minus 5k. It's like, okay, I guess it is a 10k, and this card might actually surprise us because you can play it for 1, you get a 20k that minuses like overall 10k, which can either pop 2 5ks or heavily contest like a 20k and force it into like super combo range. I actually think this card might be pretty decent. Because against Frieza or in some of these smaller decks, you're able to neg 5 like a couple 1-drops, and then you could test a 20-drop. Like, this is actually probably pretty good, to be honest. And if they kill this in combat, it can make attacking with one of their other battle cards kind of awkward and kind of like force you to commit after you attack, which is always good, complicating battle math. So I actually think this card's gonna be pretty good, actually. I can see this card being pretty strong. This Analyza is just a 30 cost vanilla that you can pair with this new Paparoni. And he's a 1 cost 10k, and once per turn you pay 3 to look at the top 7 and then play it Analyza. So it's like at the best you're looking at the top 7 for a 30k for 3 mana, and that's like not very good. Like for 3 mana, you could do much better. And then there's this 20k that gets plus 25k when it's in a battle with an opponent's battle card. This thing swings for 45k for one energy potentially. I can see this, and notably a card that is 45k is Broly. So this card could contest Broly, which I could honestly see this being like a 2 of in the deck, just because it could challenge anything. It is absolutely massive. It being a 0 combo cost is definitely something to consider, but I can see this being like a 2 of. This thing hits pretty hard, honestly. Wouldn't be surprised if that card's good. We have a generic 3 cost 25k, but you know it's TOP, so you can free play it with the Kefla, which is, you know, it's a free 25k 10k. It's pretty good. And then we have this new Kefla, which is a 20k crit for 2, and on play you can take a life from your hand. This card is pretty good. This is reminiscent of the Masters card, the 2 cost Kefla, and it was I think that was also a crit body.
Nope.
I want to say, or sorry, Caulifla. Don't quote me on that. Actually, I think I'm wrong on that. But it's a 20k 2 cost crit that takes a life to your hand, which if you're free playing that off of the Kefla, you actually might be awakening with that potentially, but we haven't had a crit threat that takes a life to your hand yet. So I think this is going to be pretty good because it's drawing you a card and pressure and crit on life. That is a pretty strong effect. We have Quitella. It KOs a battle card with 15k or less. I mean, it's actually kind of decent, to be honest, because you play 4/1 cost Whis anyways, so this is gonna KO any 20 cost unit in pair with that, and especially with like the Beerus leader, you can you'll be able to kill most things, but there's a lot of like protection from KO effects coming in this next set, so I wouldn't be surprised if this card ends up being like not great in those decks. But I mean, against the matchups that don't have that protection, I can see this actually being pretty good. But it is just a 5k, so it's a little bit underwhelming. But I mean, it's a 20k body, which is relevant. Then you just have a generic Terminative Power 20k vanilla, which is all right. I mean, you might play it, you probably won't. I would not be surprised if this card didn't see any play. But it's in a Terminative Power pool, so you might find that you want just that extra bit of consistency in the TOP decks. Then you have this Kaba, which I actually think is going to be pretty decent, because you can free play this obviously off the Kefla and the Terminative Power Goku leader, and this is going to be a 25k blocker in your opponent's turn, which is not bad, and it just pressures for 20k, and it's a 10k, so it could be a good decent filler card if you need to stick defensive, but it can go on the offense too, which is nice. It has the ability to do both. It has like the Android 20 text. Or sorry, the Android 17 text where you can attack with it and then it defends itself. And so you don't have to invest too much to protect it unless they want to invest more resources, which is pretty decent. I wouldn't be surprised if this saw the list somewhere. And then there's this Kale. She's a 3 cost 35k. At first glance, the obvious play is just cheat this into play with the Kefla. But something to note is that you can actually free play this Kale with a card from set 1, you can play this with where is it? You can play this with this Caulifla. This says play 1 Kale with cost 3 or less from your hand. So you could technically play that Kale off of that old Kefla, which I'm not sure you're going to ever want to do that, but U6 does get that little bit of that little boost. I don't know if it's gonna be good, but it is in the pool. But I definitely think you want to play some number of those in the TOP deck, just because Fee playing this with Kefla is gonna be insane. 1 mana for 25k and a 35k that draws you a card is pretty strong. That downside though, this thing's gonna get killed by everything. This thing is not surviving 1 attack, I don't think. But at the same time, it is a most answered threat, so I think it's gonna be good. And then we have this I think pretty solid filler card. It's a 3 cost. If your Leader's Awakened, draw a card. It's a 20k 10k combo. Pretty nice. It's reminiscent of the Goku Black rare from set 1, but that one doesn't need you to be awakened. But you can play this for 1 energy if the things are looking a little dicey and it'll replace the card. I can see it being in the list somewhere. It's not bad. I mean, it just replaces itself. It's definitely not what you want to be doing with the leader, but it's an option. And then the Kefla that everyone's talking about. This card's insane. It's gonna see a lot of play. And this is gonna make many people very sad when it's played for only 1 energy. For 1 energy, you get a 25k that free plays like a 35k or another really broken 3-drop that draws you a card. And it's a 10k. Like, I don't know why this card's a 10k. I feel like if they made this card a 0k, it would still be like one of the strongest cards in the next set. But it's a 10k, so it's gonna be dominant and it's gonna be everywhere, and it's very strong. And it's not gonna surprise anyone when this card's a 4 of in most topping red lists. Even in non-TOP decks, honestly, just playing this for 4 and getting that effect is really strong. Just a matter of like how you build around the engine, because you don't want to play too many like dead cards like this. Like, you're not gonna really like want to just like ever play this, right? Like, you see yourself kind of like playing this and definitely playing this. So you want to be playing cards like this, so that if you don't find your Kefla, you're still doing something strong with your mana. You don't have a bad pool. It's recording. Okay, I am excellent. Okay, and then we have this card that we don't even need to talk about. It's a 1 mana 15k 0 combo cost that KOs of 5 or less. This card's trash.
He looks stinky.
He looks really stinky too, so we are not going to play him at all. I think he's going to be a card that people forget about pretty quick. The fact that it's a zero combo, I don't know why this card's a 0 combo. This card could be like a 5k or 10k and still probably not get any play. This card is going to be fantastic. The new Android 17, very good. It's a 25k and it gives your leader plus 5k. This is a permanent. This is your turn. This is their turn. And if you're awakened, it can't be KO'd. Like, it's going to be negged in some matchups, but negging 25 is not like that easy unless you're Beerus. Like, this card's going to be, it's going to be really good. Doesn't really need to be talked about all that much. It's pretty strong. The special art looks pretty sweet too. He's giving something an uppercut. Then there's the new Android 18. On your opponent's turn, it gets plus 5k. It's fine. It's filler. If you really need it, you play it. It probably won't get played though, because for the reason I was talking about earlier, you're gonna want to be playing like cards that are strong independently of the Kefla, and this is not something you really want to be playing for 2 energy. Especially because, like, in this spot, you could literally just play, like, the promo Goku or something, which is a 25k, like, all the time if you're awakened, so. Alright, and then we have to do Goku. It is a 3 mana, 25k critical. So, this is another strong thing you can put into play with Kefla, but not super good just, like, on its own. It's like, 3 cost, 25k vanillas are not bad. But this is a 5k combo cost, and it's just... I don't know. You could probably play it if you want to lean into crit a little bit, but I'm not super excited about this card. I don't think it's gonna be all that good. And then Gohan, it's excellent. You don't mind ever playing this on turn 3 because this card is just gonna be a 3 mana 35k that helps you awaken, and it tests the board by minusing 15k. This card's gonna be very good It's gonna be very good in Beerus. It's gonna be very good TOP Goku. I think this is gonna be excellent, and special art is just amazing. This looks so good. This is gonna be a really exciting card to open up in a pack. Tien Shinhan, it's funny, and in U7 specifically, the U7 Goku, I think it's actually gonna be low-key kind of good because you get to free play a bunch of TNs if you're playing like enough TNs in your deck. And I think there's actually, if I'm not mistaken, there's a new TN in this set. I think there's a 1-cost TN somewhere. Oh, actually there's not. Okay, I am mistaken. But there's like 8 1-mana TNs, and you'll be able to play a bunch of them, which is pretty funny. And then we have there's like a little trio of dangers engine. You got Basil, Lavender, and I think Bergamo's around here somewhere. Oh yeah, right here. And Bergamo. So they all kind of like work in tandem. Besides Basil, I think Basil's gonna be a 4 of in all of these TOP decks, because this card finds Kefla and it finds all your different TOP cards. I think this is gonna be a 4 of for sure, and it's not gonna be close. The Trio of Dangers thing is not gonna be why this card is played, but who knows? Maybe it'll end up being decent. So I'll just talk about the Trio of Dangers cards. So it says all your cards with Trio of Dangers in their special traits gets plus 5k. So that includes itself. So it's a two cost 20k. That'll buff your Basil to 10k. That doesn't matter. And it'll buff your Lavender to a 20k, which is like kind of relevant, I guess. In multiples, this card could be fine, but I don't think it's gonna be very good, to be honest. This Lavender though does seem like it has some potential, because you're gonna be playing the 1-cost things anyways. So this is gonna be able to contest the board pretty quick. I could see like Beerus or someone wanting some number of this, because it's a 10k and minus is 5k for each Trio of Dangers. So if you have one of these out, it's just a -5, which isn't great. But if you have like 2 or more, it starts to scale. I can see it being good, especially because Basil is gonna be very strong. I think every red deck that plays Kefla is gonna want some number. And then we have just another Master Roshi, but it's a Tournament of Power. It's kind of nice, you know, just filler, draws a card. Can't go wrong with that kind of effect. Frieza, it's a 1-cost. This is basically the new Jace for red, where if you're awakened, it gets plus 5k. I think this card's good. Honestly, in aggro decks, like this thing being a 1-mana 20k, or in U7 Goku, this thing being a 1-mana 25k, it's gonna be good. I don't think there's a lot more to say. Like this card's gonna be doing a lot more than people think, especially in U7 Goku. Frieza sama. And we have this 3-cost 20k Vegeta. It says choose all your opponent's battle cards with 5k power or less in KO. This is gonna be more of like a tech card. Like this is decent against yellow, but I don't think this card's like that great. It's just a 3k, 20k, 10 cost. Like 10 combo cost card. I don't know. I could see it being fine in like against yellow, or just getting rid of a bunch of like little guys. This card might end up surprising me, but I don't think this card's gonna be all that good. And then we already talked about Bergamo. We have this Hellas, which is it gives something with 30k power or more and it gets -20. I don't know why it's limited to a 30k power or more. I think in Beerus, you're probably gonna want a couple just to deal with big boys, but it's a little narrow. I don't think it's gonna be that good. And then just another 1-cost vanilla. That's probably not gonna see much play unless you're in a starter deck. We talked about Lavender. Rashimi KOs a 30k or less. I think this card is pretty solid. I think there's better things to be doing for 5 energy though. Then we have the Tournament of Power super combo. Ribrianne is this is really great artwork. I gotta say, I love this. I'll probably be playing this in every one of my red decks just because it's so good. Then we have the Ribrianne. It is a it is a 20k Tournament of Power, 10 combo cost 4, double strike. So in U7, you're able to play this for 1. This is a 1-mana double strike body. This card's gonna be good. This is gonna see play. It's gonna be a 3 or 4 of in TOP decks. You can't free play it with Kefla, but that doesn't matter. Not everything needs to be good with Kefla. You can just play this as a 20k crit, or sorry, 20k double strike. It's for 1 energy. It's gonna be really good. I have a lot of confidence that card's going to be strong. And then Rosie. At 2 cost, 15k body, 10 combo power. When attacking, this card gets plus 5k for each of your opponent's battle cards. So in red, you're killing a lot of battle cards. So this like actually is kind of like, it goes against like the archetype of red a bit. But if your opponent has like 5 battle cards on the field, this thing gets plus 25k for 2. This thing we deck for 40 to 50,000. This card actually might end up being pretty strong, but I think it works against what red's trying to do, which is controlling the board. So I actually think this card is a little bit like weirdly designed. I actually don't think it's gonna be all that strong, personally, just because it doesn't work with like red's identity as a color. All right, and then we just have a couple more in red, and then we'll be wrapped up here. We have 1 mana. Activate battle on your opponent's turn. Choose your leader or one of your battle cards, and it gets plus 20k. Then if the chosen card is a battle card, that card can't be KO'd in battle for the turn. I don't know how good this card is. It's weird to gauge cards you can only play on your opponent's turn, but I have a feeling it's actually kind of decent. But the deck list is so tight, it's hard to say. But this protects your Kefla, this protects all your battle cards from dying in battle. It gives everything like the Bergamo text, which is kind of nice. I mean, it might be a tech card you play at some point if your card's dying in battle becomes a problem. You see it being all right. And Clash of the Strongest. This card's very silly, and I think it's actually kind of good. So it's 2 mana, or 1 if you have Master Roshi. Choose all of your battle cards with determine the power of their special traits, and they get plus 10,000 power for the turn. Why, though? You'd be free playing a lot of units in TOP Goku and give them all plus 10k. This would be like an overrun. If you don't know what overrun is, it's a card from Magic the Gathering that buffs all of your cards on board. I think this card is actually good. I just don't know how many you would even play. Probably like 1 or 2, just as like a way to like surprise your opponent and kill him. But it's probably just a meme and maybe it isn't real. But I wouldn't be surprised if this card's good. And then Glimpse of a Hidden Arrogance. 2 cost, activate battle card. Choose your leader or up to one of your battle cards. It gets plus 25k for the battle. Then if you have a battle card with 30k or more, you can add a battle card with a cost of 4 or less from your drop to your hand. So this buffs one of your things, and then it gives it, and then it can return to Kefla to your hand from your drop. This card's insane. I think this card's going to be a 3 or 4 of, especially because you can play it for very, very cheap with your Roshi. So basically, a play you can do is you can combo 10k with your Kefla from your hand to defend yourself, and then you can awaken with Roshi, and then you can play this for 1 to make one of your battle cards massive, and then buy back your Kefla, then free play that Kefla. I think this card's going to be very strong. But yeah, that's the red. That is all of the red cards in this set so far, and I think red is a big winner of this set. I think red is going to be a dominant force, and I think it is something to watch out for.